happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back on this March 6th, 2025. And as always, I'm so happy to be alive. This is episode 257. But before I get into anything today, let me start off the way I always do, by thanking all of you out there. That's right, my subscribers. You're what's keeping me coming back week after week. I greatly appreciate all of you. If you're new to the podcast, remember to subscribe. If you want to tell your story or get an opportunity to be a guest on this podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Send an audio, video, or type it out. And, of course, don't forget about that Linktree link. It gives you access to everything TwT. It's just that easy, and it's in the description below the video, along with all of today's links. So let's get into it. I am... well, finally sick. That's right, everybody. I got something. I don't care what it was. I'm not getting tested for it. Anybody who's out there getting tested for it today, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't understand it. It bothers the crap out of me. I got a cold. I don't know what it is, and I don't care. I'm not going to kill Grandma. She's already dead, and I'm not really worried about getting anybody else sick today. Whoever out there is wearing a mask, my God, I want to punch you in the face. I really do. It makes me so angry that people are still doing this and they're still getting tested. Oh, I can't go to work. I have the C word. Oh, you have a new flu? You have the new cold? Who cares? Aren't we past this by now? Has the system been so broken over this last 5 years now? I think April, May. Is it April or May? That's 5 years. It doesn't matter, everybody. What are we doing? You are still allowing everybody to scare you? This is absolutely retarded. I don't care. I don't care. Ban me. Shut me off. TikTok already did. That's right. My TikTok account got banned, but I'm back, everybody. Yeah, because I've got like 17,000 fucking emails. And I just made a new account. You want to know why? Just for editing. That's it. I hate TikTok. I think it's absolutely ridiculous and stupid. And now they're talking about putting warnings on this thing and having your phone shut off. I mean, good. You people are scrolling way too much. It is retarded. But speaking of retarded, I'm retarded. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. I don't know what my problem is, but I cannot go to sleep in my bed anymore. I fall asleep every night now for 2.5 months on my couch. I'm trying to stay up. I'm working 56 hours a week, and I have no time for anything. Jiu-jitsu, I will be able to go today, which I'm very excited for. But at the end of the day, man, it has been real tough to get it all done. I am really looking forward to something that's happening in my life as of today, which is, what is today? February 18th. So, I'm pre-recording all of these like I always say, but I never keep it in. I'm keeping this one in. It's just been real tough to keep up with all of this, but I'm doing it for all of you out there. I'm doing it for my own sanity. And I'm just keeping this thing going. But everybody needs to get over the fact that we are going to get sick. And you don't need to test yourself for anything today. All you're doing is subjecting yourself to their terms. Stop subjecting yourself to their terms. We don't have to follow it. It's not a rule. It's not a guideline. And it's not a requirement. Stop calling out of work because you got a little head cold or you got some sinus pressure. Like, it's just crazy to me. The whole world has gotten weak. The whole world has gotten weak. It's insane today that people still use this as somewhat of an excuse to get out of whatever they're doing. It's not an excuse anymore. It's the new common cold. We're all going to get sick. We're all going to pass it on to each other. The mask is doing nothing but harming yourself. You're not making me feel better. You make me feel awkward standing next to you. You make me feel Like you think you're doing something to help. And all you're doing is turning those particles into smaller particles and making it so that we all get sick faster. Take off the mask, man. Take it off. But that's all I got to say about that. I want to get into some Topher's topics today. I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about. So we're going to get into it right now. So she thought she was having indigestion. Doctors found a near fatal artery blockage. So women, it looks like your symptoms may be different than ours. Let's check this out real quick.
We are going red today. We begin this hour with National Wear Red Day. And we are wearing red to raise awareness of women's heart health. More than 60 million women in this country are living with some form of heart disease. It is the leading cause of death among women in the U.S., killing more than 300,000 every single year. Yet only about half of the women in the United States are even aware of the risks. CBS News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. John LaPook joins us. Good morning. I think it's important to note, as you did before we started talking on air, the rates have decreased over the last 20 years, but yet and still, a lot of women are dying from heart disease. Why is that?
Yeah, well, I think it's a dangerous misconception that heart disease is somehow exclusively a male disease, right? Pointed out it's the #1 killer in women. There's a reason why we're wearing red today, and that's to bring attention to this, because attention and understanding translates to save lives.
Yeah. And when you think about the information that you have, we know some of the risks involved, you know, whether you're overweight, if you have diabetes. Can you talk about that, but also explain why so many women are dying of heart disease?
Well, you know, the risk factors we've been all talking about, and you can't talk about them enough because intervening, as you said, has led to a decrease in mortality from heart disease. But, you know, we have to keep remembering the numbers. So what's your blood pressure? High blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, inactivity. And access to care is another thing where, you know, you have to be able to actually see a doctor, right? So a clinician. Is
there a certain screening women should ask for specifically or at a certain age? You know, because we talk about mammograms and knowing that after, you know, 35, 40 years old, you need to start
get a stress test.
But what can I do personally to make sure that my heart is in good shape?
I love that you bring that up because it's not something where you want to wait until you have symptoms and then say, okay, now I'm going to really, you know, get into it. This should be a lifelong thing. So from birth, you want to have healthy habits, right? Yeah. You want to try to be the right weight. As you start to be seen by clinicians, you want to know what your numbers are. Yeah. You want to make sure your blood pressure, because high blood pressure is silent very often. So you want to know those numbers. You want to make sure you're not diabetic. You want to make sure your lipids are okay. There are things you can do.
And you mentioned birth. What about heart-related complications during pregnancy? What can women do?
Well, pregnancy is a big stress test, right?
You're right.
I mean, you know, you wouldn't run a marathon and say, you know, like the day before, all right, I'm going to start training now.
Yeah.
So you want to go in there with good health, and you know, part of that means again access to care, making sure that you know your numbers, that you're the right weight. You know, this has been a problem, and especially as you know, there's a increased mortality during pregnancy in black women, and it's a problem that's been addressed, you know, but sporadically and not well enough. And the reasons for it are multifactorial. It's social determinants of health. You know, if you don't have access to good housing and good food and access to care, and then on top of that, of course, we know there's implicit bias, and these all combine to increase mortality for black women.
So at the end of the day, I don't think enough of us actually take advantage of our doctors. I know for me and probably 3 or 4 other people that I've talked to, trying to make doctor's appointments today is insane. You make a doctor's appointment and they can't see you for 6 months. And I don't know exactly what the reason is for this. I remember a day when we could make an appointment with a doctor and see them within 2 weeks. Now it's 4 or 5 months. And this is normal now, and sad. And the fact that you have a doctor, you like the doctor, and then the doctor moves on. Very irritating. For me, I've lost 4 doctors in 4 years because they moved on or they did something else. And it just is bothersome because now you're starting over with a new person, which I'm doing in a couple months, because it took 4 months for me to be able to see my doctor for the very first time. But at the end of the day, you need to do blood panels, and not the blood panels that they set up for you. Ask for an extensive blood panel. Insurance is not going to pay for it. But at the end of the day, don't you want to know where you're at with your health? Isn't that money well vested? I think it is. All right. But at the end of the day, I don't know why we always thought that this was a male disease only. Maybe it's because we're way more stressed out than women are. It's possible. I don't know. But we need to get better at taking care of ourselves. But we also need to hold the doctors and these medical facilities up to a higher standard, because I believe that their standards are very low and they try to fit everybody into a box, like not getting rid of the BMI chart, not getting rid of the food pyramid, not getting rid of the way we do things today, this box that they put us in, or the box that those medical practitioners are stuck in. And this needs to change today. It needs to change in order for our health and our longevity of our life to continue. But as long as they stick us in a box, they check off all the boxes, and then send us on our way, it's really, really hard to be healthy today. It really is. All right, so this one's wild. Massachusetts butcher shop loses $60,000. Stolen credit card used to buy 5,000 pounds of meat. I mean, look, these scams are giant. My wife on Sunday had 3 attempts. She got a phone call and 2 text messages about an unpaid toll. Actually, I think the 2 text messages were both for an unpaid toll. And then the phone call was one of those ones that I got. It came up as something else. I can't remember what it is right now. But, man, the scams are hot right now. They're a hot commodity, man. Everybody's scamming everybody. So this is wild, though. I feel so bad for this small business, and I don't know if they're going to be able to recoup. You got to get protection, everybody. You got to get fraud protection. You got to call your bank. You got to make sure that if something like this happens, you can get reimbursed, and you can get reimbursed quickly. I just recently got scammed. If they're calling you, call them, because it's probably not them. If you're getting a text message, don't answer. If you're getting this, don't answer. Mark, report, delete, spam, blocked. Whatever you got to do. Do not answer a thing. If you have an unpaid toll, it's coming in the mail. It's coming in the mail. If you have a fraudulent charge, call your bank first. You know? But this is really, really sad that, you know, they are now out. Like 60 grand. They're trying to get their money back, and I hope they can get the help they need.
A small business on the North Shore is trying to recover from a devastating scam. So listen to this. The mom and pop butcher shop was conned out of thousands of dollars worth of meat.
WBZ's Christina Rex brings us inside the investigation and the warning for small businesses.
Ava's Farm Butcher Shop in North Andover is the kind of place that will save you the last carton of eggs.
Thank you so much. I don't want to take the last one.
Where daily customers get their dinner staples for the last 5 years.
They have the best customer service. They have the best meats ever.
That generosity, however, has the shop in serious financial jeopardy because of an order over the holidays from the men seen in these surveillance videos, allegedly to
provide meals for homeless people and homeless shelters. We love giving back to our community, so we saw this opportunity and we jumped on it.
North Andover police are investigating. WBZ blurred the men's faces because no charges have been filed. It was the biggest order the family business had ever gotten. They had to find oxtail and short rib through several wholesalers, and the customers showed up for weeks, picking up the meat and paying for it.
You got to pay me first. This is a big amount. I cannot afford that. They said, no problem. We'll give you the credit card.
And now the walk-in fridge looks like this, nearly empty. The owner of the shop tells me the men got away with over 5,000 pounds of meat he had specially purchased just for them.
Because while the money came through at first, the meat was purchased on a stolen credit card, discovered when the shop got a frantic call.
And they said, I'm not from Massachusetts. I don't live in Massachusetts. I don't know how you got my credit card.
The shop now has to return the $60,000 it made on the sales, and another $20,000 of holiday profits are frozen too.
It was just a straight feeling of betrayal.
The Alonso family doesn't know if they can pull through this loss. For Roberto, who started Ava's farm as an ode to his butcher father in Argentina, this feels personal.
Talking about these people, they were Spanish, like me, and they came and shake my hand.
In North Andover.
Have a great day.
Christina Rex, WBZ News.
I mean, that's just crazy. You have to protect yourselves as much as possible today. This can happen to anybody at any moment in time. How do you check somebody's credit card to see if it's actually theirs, right? Do we have to ID people now and match the name to the card? I don't know. I don't have to do it where I work, and I know that it would be a process every single customer. But why they would have to return anything? Because it wasn't fraudulently purchased to their knowledge. This was a legit purchase. So for them to have to pay it back confuses me. You would think that the customer that had their credit card information stolen would call the credit card or the bank, credit union, whatever, get that money, be like, I didn't make this purchase, I need my money back. They have to then open up a fraudulent case. It could take up to 2 weeks for you to get your money back. And then they have to go and get the money. But they're saying that this business has to pay back those funds. But yet, they didn't think it was a fraudulent charge. So I don't understand how this works. Maybe this is because it's a business. I'm not sure. But it feels a little fishy to me because I feel like the credit card should be reimbursing that person, and then the credit card should be then finding out who those people are and prosecuting them, and not holding this business who thought they had a legitimate charge pay back those funds. If I was them, I wouldn't pay back a single penny. I would take my money and put it back into my business and be like, I've already bought all the meats. And I'd be like, you're going to now speak to my lawyer. And I would hire my lawyer and I would say, hey, this is what happened. You need to deal with the credit card company. We're not giving this money back. This was not a fraudulent charge by us. So why should I have to give back their money when I didn't know it was their money? It was this person's money. So I think this is being done incorrectly, or nobody has fraud protection like I do. You need to have fraud protection today. And if you don't have fraud protection or some way to protect your funds, what are you doing? That's so dangerous today with the amount of online fraud. So get yourself protected. And for this business, I just feel really bad, but I would not give back a single fucking penny. Not a penny. Let's see. New drug that is now, well, Narcan resistant. Yep. Narcan resistant. Xylazine being found in more New Hampshire cases. Deadly drug does not respond to Narcan. Not only does it not respond to Narcan, everybody, but it causes necrosis. I'm telling you, man, it is so dangerous to do drugs.
We've seen it from Seabrook to Colebrook. It is everywhere.
Seabrook,
Spera, special agent in charge at the DEA, has been watching the deadly drug xylazine tighten its grip on New Hampshire, especially when mixed with other drugs.
It is added to fentanyl, the fentanyl powder, in an effort to increase the amount.
The DEA says xylazine has been found in about 30% of the fentanyl seized in the state.
While it's been detected in every county in New Hampshire, News 9 Investigates found the highest concentrations of this drug have been found in Grafton and Hillsborough County.
Xylazine has some horrific effects on the drug user.
Xylazine is often called a flesh-eating drug because it causes necrosis,
which rots the human tissue like the skin and can lead to amputation.
Xylazine can make drugs even more deadly because it does not respond to the overdose reversal drug Narcan. News 9 Investigates found xylazine was detected in 41 overdose deaths in the Granite State in 2024. The director of the state police lab said xylazine was first spotted in 2017.
But once we started looking for it, that's when we really started to see that it is in the New Hampshire drug supply and has only been increasing through the years. And I think the danger is for any user that you don't know what you're taking. You never know what's in that fentanyl.
I mean, it's a crazy world we live in, everybody. You have to worry about fraud. You have to worry about fucking drugs that now cause necrosis. That's been around since 2017. This stuff has been around for almost a decade. We're just hearing about it now. Or maybe I'm just hearing about it now. This is insane. Insane. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, everybody. I don't know what to tell everybody. What am I supposed to tell you? Stop doing these drugs. I don't know. I can't. I just, it blows my mind. I am lost for words because I know there's millions of people out there that are just addicted to these pharmaceutical drugs. Then they get denied the pharmaceutical drugs and then they go to the streets. And then they wind up with this. And I don't know if you know how this works, but the injection site is where it kills you. So you get necrosis from your injections. And then if you don't get your arm amputated or your foot amputated, wherever you're putting these needles, I've seen them in some disgusting areas. People will do almost anything. But it's not just veins collapsing now. It's not just bruising and blood clots. It's now necrosis where your actual flesh dies. And you're left with a dead arm, dead foot. This is absolutely disturbing. It's so disturbing. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say, except for give you a little bit of a warning out there. If you're somewhat experimenting with drugs today, don't. Shit, don't. Just don't. But this is very disturbing. It's very disturbing, and it's really, really sad that this is where we're at today. You cannot just try anything, drugs, period. Don't accept anything from anybody you don't know. Just don't. And go get a test kit. Get a test kit. Please, everybody, please. Protect yourselves. Protect your money. Stay aware. Stay alert. And, for anybody out there that's dealing with a loved one that's dealing with this, I'm just sorry. This is absolutely disgusting. They will do anything to get their money. They don't care if it's killing you. They don't care if you die from this. They don't care. They don't care. They're not worried about you using tomorrow. They're only worried about you using today. They do not give a shit about human life at all anymore. That's where I'm at. It's really scary. So please, my message to everybody out there, stop trying these drugs from the streets. Please. Jesus Christ. This is so scary. 2025. Whew. So a humpback whale briefly swallowed a kayaker in Chile, and it's all captured on camera. This is wild. Watch this. Whoop. He just got swallowed. He just got swallowed.
Yo pensé que me había comido ya y que me había tragado, pero claro, yo sentía que quizás era una orca, habíamos estado hablando de orcas poco antes, entonces tenía eso en la cabeza, pero ya cuando salí entendí que claro, probablemente era por curiosidad que se había acercado la ballena o quizás como para comunicar algo.
Agárralo, vete para la orilla.
Wow, wow.
Sí, yo en un principio cuando pensé que había
He
muerto,
thought he had died at
como,
first.
claro, mucho terror.
Yeah, I bet you it was terrifying.
Porque pensé que no.
I mean,
no,
there
no
is
podía
nothing you
hacer
can
nada,
do. What are
¿no?
you supposed
Y
to
cuando
do?
salí y empecé a flotar, ahí sentí el miedo de verdad de que también le fuese a pasar algo a mi papá, de que
That's so crazy. Show it again. Show it again. Show it again. Watch this again, everybody. Watch. So this is an island back here. This is the kayaker. Now, I don't know how to slow this down, but watch. 1, 2, there it is, right there. That's the top of the killer whale's mouth. This is the bottom of it, and there he is, right in the center, dude, and gone. What? That's crazy, bro. You got swallowed by a whale. By a whale. And then that whale was like, oh, I don't want this, and spit it up. So I think there's something that they do or they're doing when they come to the surface like that. And I don't think it was him spotting something and then going up and like swallowing what it saw. I think it was just like coming up out of the ocean with its mouth open. I think maybe that was just like so it could get some air or something. And he just happened to be in that path. But that whale was like, blech, spit him out right away. Maybe it's because he was spicy. I mean, he is from Chile, right? All right, enough of the stupid dad jokes. Let's see here. Federal judge pauses President Trump's order restricting gender-affirming care for trans youth. This is just disturbing, everybody. Why is it disturbing? Why is it disturbing? Because nobody under the age of 18 should be getting these surgeries. So why is a judge blocking this? Right? Why is a judge blocking this? This should be illegal. It should be illegal. And the fact that it's not, and the fact that we're trying to put a stop to something that is life-altering, and a judge puts a stop to it, is absolutely, it's disturbing to me. It's really disturbing that we're going to continue allowing this when all we're trying to do is make it so that these people make it to the age of 18 without completely and absolutely hating themselves. Because the majority of people that have this or do this to themselves or allow their parents to do this to them or the doctors do this to them, not all of them make it to 18. I think the percentage is very, very low for the people that are satisfied with this compared to the people that are unsatisfied. But you shouldn't be making any of these decisions until you're at least the age of 18. And your parents shouldn't be allowed to make this decision for you. Nobody should be able to make this decision for you. And as for this judge, you need to fucking make this decision for them and not allow it to happen. Pass this law, people.
transgender Americans are strongly rebuking a series of orders and statements from President Trump. One such order defines sex on federal documents as being only male or female.
Yay!
adding that sexes are not changeable.
That's
Meaning
right.
Federal forms will not have a third option
Good.
of X that non-binary people could select.
You don't need to select
We'll
one.
also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
It needs to stop.
It will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
The president also signed an executive order saying the identity of transgender service members conflicts with a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle. And the president blocked federal support for gender transitions for people under 19, directing that no federal funds should support medical schools or hospitals that provide gender-affirming care to transgender youth. The order calls care like puberty blockers a form of chemical body mutilation of kids.
Yep, 100%. That's where I'm going to stop that. I agree with it 100%. This is getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous, everybody. You're all ridiculous. Okay? You're all ridiculous. And yes, you have rights. You are an American. You can be whatever you want. But we are not going to put it on federal documentation. We are not going to federally fund this. And we are not going to allow you to mutilate yourself before the age of 19. I don't think these are bad things. Nobody's saying that you can't be what you pretend you are. No one's saying you can't play pretend anymore. No one's saying that. All we're saying is that we need to make an educated decision as an adult. That's it. And as for everything else, well, thank God, man. You know how many applications I've filled out where they're like, you know, what is your gender? What is this? And there's like 17 options. I'm like, what do you mean? There's not 17 options. There's 2. And I'm one of them. I don't understand. It's a 50-50 shot. You're either male or female. That's it. That's physically fucking it. There is nothing else. So I don't understand this judge. I think he should be dragged out into the street and shot for continuing this nonsense and allowing everybody to live in this world of pretend that doesn't pertain to the world. It's such a small percentage of you. So I'm sorry, but your voices on social media should not drive our actual laws. We shouldn't even be listening to social media because it's not the actual percentage of Americans represented in that zone, in that area on social media. It's not the correct amount of the population that thinks this way. It's a very, very small percent, and it's all entitlement. So I'm really hoping that this all goes through. I hope we push it back and we stop this judge from stopping this. And I hope all of this goes through. Like I said, I voted for all of this. I am not sorry. I know it's going to be a painful 4 years, but at the end of it, I'm really hoping that we can fix half of this shit that everybody is broken, that everybody is taken advantage of. And I want my money back. I want this corruption to stop. Have you seen the list of dead people taking Social Security? It's more people than the population of the United States of America. And we're going to discuss that next week because it's going to be Doge all week next week, I'm telling you. So, flying vehicle makes first test flight, 300-mile range. Figure AI plans to ship 100,000 humanoid robots over the next few years. This is another flying ship, which is crazy to me. And I don't know if I played it yet, but there's a whole thing behind blimps and a theory behind the Hindenburg, which is very interesting because none of this would have existed if we had stuck with the blimp, which was working and working really well. So I found that to be interesting, but this thing is taking its first flight. It can make 300 miles, and it's a 30-year-old company, so it's a flying taxi. And they're starting to make charging stations for them in South Carolina. So we'll see what happens. But, man, we are just coming up with so many of these flying taxi vehicles now. If all the planes are crashing, why are we still trying to be in the air? We're just going to make more air traffic. That doesn't make any sense, does it? So crazy to me. My colleague Larry Benedict and I are planning an exciting event next week called the Overnight AI Gains Summit, where we'll reveal a bold trading strategy for profiting from AI. They're called 0-day trades, as in 0 days to expiration. These trades are fast and have an explosive potential, especially when applied to the right AI stocks. When used, this strategy can potentially double your money. If anyone else hit me up with a claim like that, I'd be skeptical. But Larry's a veteran trader and a market wizard whose hedge fund was ranked multiple times #1 by Barron's. He was well known in the industry. There's no one better strategy for this. I'm sure we've all seen the videos of jerky, awkward movements as robots struggle to do simple tasks. They tend to be funny, almost slapstick comedy, but the failures aren't from doing anything difficult. But these types of failures are becoming less common. The combination of high-performing actuators, more powerful semiconductors, and artificial intelligence, specifically neutral networks, to reinforce learning have completely changed the capabilities of humanoid robots. The movements are, surprise, surprise, becoming a lot more human. Check this video out. It's just of them like falling over and over and over again, because this is where the robots used to be. Wow, that's weird, huh? It's like just trying to go into the door. Wow. So these things just used to fall over and they wouldn't work. And now that they are adding AI in programs, these AI programs now are helping everything get better faster. And when we add AI into the stock market to help us trade, damn, has anybody else thought of this? Is that considered inside trading? Like, could I just ask chat to go through my crypto.com and be like, hey, as of right now, where you see all of, let's just say, my three cryptos that I have, and tell me where I should invest more money? Or can you tell me whether or not these ones are going to fall off? Would chat be able to do that for me? Shit, if it can, what am I doing? Why am I sitting here? I should be doing that, right? So I think we can use AI for a lot of things. But if you win on the stock market using AI, is that considered inside trading? And will that get people in trouble? I don't know. So Ukraine's new military laser burns through metal, downs Russian drones. Ukraine unveils metal-burning laser weapon system for downing Russian drones with successful trials showing effectiveness and ranges exceeding 2 kilometers in latest military innovation. This is wild, everybody. This is fucking Star Wars, bro. It's Star Wars. Look at that laser. It is shooting a drone down. Testing of a Dragonfire laser weapon in the UK. So Ukraine has lasers now? Do we all have lasers? Do we already have lasers? Do we already have this capability? Are we going to be fighting with lasers? And what was that thing called? Zoom, 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 zoom. What the fuck was that thing? You know, the fucking swords that they used to use in Star Wars. I don't know. I don't keep up with this shit. But, wow, lightsaber. That's it. So, this is crazy. Ukraine is set to enhance its defense production capabilities in 2025, focusing on the manufacturing of 30,000 long-range drones, 3,000 cruise missiles, developing high-tech military solutions as part of a broader strategy to strengthen its military aimed at Russia. This is wild, everybody. So we are here. That's it. We've got lasers. Oops. We've got lasers. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Wow. All right. Now, Russia, of course, they're now Russian men versus Ukrainian robots. Watch the future of war begin. This is it, everybody. This is it. These killing machines swerve explosions, rain machine gun fire, and save manpower in the fight against Putin. We witnessed their first platoon-scale assault. Let's see if we got a video, because I really want a video. Yeah. Look at this. So these are the platoon of robots have been helping Ukraine soldiers in the front lines. These are little robots. Fully fucking loaded. Look at it go. Look at it go. I wonder how noisy it is. I don't think there's any sound. Oh no, the sound is up. As they advance, they dodge explosions that would... Look at that. They avoid the explosions that would kill humans. Look at them go. Look at them go. These robots are armed with heavy machine gun. What? Look at this, everybody. This is insane. Soldiers from Land Robotics Platoon of Ukraine's 13th Cavalry Nation use joysticks to push their machines towards the fortified trench line. What? Look at that little thing go. That little robot is a killing machine, everybody. It's a killing machine. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The future is here. We are in the future. This is wild. Wild, everybody. Now, check this out. AI designed computer chips that the human mind can't understand. What? What do you mean? Look at these chips. So, a new neutral network process has designed wireless chips that can outperform existing ones. The convolutional neutral network analyzes and desired chip properties, then designed it backwards. Much of AI news is hype, but this is open access, peer-reviewed research in a reputable journal, everybody. So these chips are fully functioning. This is the future. AI is doing it all. It's doing it all. It's redesigning our computer chips. It's just doing everything. What is it not going to be able to do soon? It's mind-blowing, everybody. These computer chips are going to be able to process 20 times, 50 times the amount of data that we are doing right now today. My computer is literally the fastest computer I've ever had. It is almost a year old, and it's going to be obsolete soon. These computer chips are nuts, bro. They're nuts. I mean, lasers, robots with guns, and now new computer chips that the human cannot even comprehend. This is so wild. All right, so military robot deployed as a nightclub DJ. We are not trying to apologize for the strength of robots. What the fuck does this even mean? Please give me a video. There is no video. Trump claims troops brought robot on mission to kill ISIS leader. Let's see. Everyone knows San Francisco has been captured by tech elites, but we didn't expect robots to start replacing the key job position of disc jockeys, even in the city by the Bay, quite this quickly. Built for Foundation Robots Lab startup, a sleek black phantom robot spun tech house beats for attendees of so-called Giga Party, an extremely cringe-sounding network event Splash Club Night celebrating the first 25 years of the 21st century and glimpsing the next 75. So, I don't know if you can see it. It's just a picture, but yeah, there is a robot behind the DJ table playing music for everybody. But supposedly, this is a military robot, which is wild, to say the least, because if we really are, we really are eliminating everything that we do with these things. So Elon's dad just went on a podcast and said Obama is a queer who is married to a man who dresses as a woman. He then continued, at Michelle Obama is a man, obviously. They have pictures of her in tracksuits with a 9-inch schlong hanging down its leg. He didn't even say her or his. He said its. Dude, this is so wild. I mean, who hasn't jumped on this gravy train yet? We all know it's true. You know, Joan Rivers said it first.
Africa had never been impressed with Obama's approach. You know, we realized we'd learned Obama's a queer married to a man who dresses as a woman. We'd all learned that. It's not common knowledge, you know, that
Michelle Obama's a man.
Of course. You don't know that?
I didn't know that, no.
Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joan Rivers mentioned it publicly, and she was dead 2 weeks later, by the way.
Yep.
You think?
Oh, yes.
They axed her, eh?
Yep.
They axed her, yeah. So that's common knowledge. You can look it up on any internet thing.
I'm sure.
And, Michelle Obama's a man. Obviously, you know, they've got, got pictures of her in tracksuits with a 9-inch schlong hanging down her leg. No, it's a leg.
Oh, man. So there has been some interesting things said about Elon's dad, why he fled to Africa. I'm going to look a little bit more into that next week, but I just had to play this because, who doesn't think this today? Who doesn't think this? You know? It's always, Michael, not Michelle. So, is it confirmed? I don't know. You can't trust everything that Elon dad says, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying the truth is out there. And when you're ready to admit it, Michael, let us know. So this one here, Doge investigation finally forces Congress to admit to all U.S. government's long history of financing Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and ISIS. This is no secret. This video goes on for a half an hour. I'm hoping they hit the bullet point right off the bat.
Who's in charge of Afghanistan getting the money? And that money I just mentioned, the $697 million, is on top of, and is in addition to the weekly to every 10-day shipments in cash of $40 to $80 million. Afghanistan is ruled by folks named Sarayuddin Haqqani. The Haqqani network mean anything to anybody in the room? How about Abdullah bin Laden? Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel, entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan.
The 40
Holy shit, everybody. Let's see what this little blonde has to say.
million a week that comes on the airplane and comes into Afghanistan. So the plane comes in weekly. The amount of money on the plane weekly is 43 million to 87 million. But one thing I want Americans to understand is in that bucket of the 40 million we send each week, we are paying basically welfare to the Taliban martyrs' families. So every Taliban member who died during the war with us, the U.S. government is paying them a stipend, the family. So our families of Americans who died there aren't getting squat, but we are paying Taliban families for basically dying while attacking us.
Whoa. There it is, everybody. There it is. This is what our money goes to. This is why the U.S. aid needs to be torn apart. That's why the federal government needs to be torn apart. Why do we want Greece? Because China and Russia want it. We got to get it first. Why is it the Gulf of America? Because it's mostly surrounded by America. All of this stuff makes sense to me. It all makes sense. He's not a dictator. He's not trying to rule the country. The world. I don't understand how we can call him a Nazi today because he hasn't killed anybody. The only Nazis that I see on this planet today are all Israel. Israel is the worst today than anybody for causing a genocide and killing innocents and killing and slaughtering women and children. So if anybody deserves the right to be called a Nazi, it should be Netanyahu, not Trump. And I'm going to get more into this next week, but man, this is some BS that we are all being fed. And this narrative of Trump taking over and being this person and not allowing voting in 4 years is a bunch of bullshit that they're trying to feed us so that we stay in fear of what's going to happen. Don't fear what's going to happen because I feel like it's all going to be exposed. And that is what we all want, the truth. This is the truth, everybody. This is where our money goes. Why are the people that fought in those wars, that fought against the Taliban, getting nothing while the Taliban collects millions upon millions? Why are we paying them? Why are we funding this? Why? And I also believe that taking Gaza is like a payment. How much money did we give them? How much money did we give everybody? Maybe Gaza is not a good example since we paid Israel to blow up Gaza. Okay, I'll give you that. But why? Why is it so wrong? We have given Ukraine millions upon trillions of dollars. We gave Israel millions upon trillions of dollars. And now these assholes are like, no, you can't have anything. We just funded your whole fucking war, you shitbags. I'm going to take what I want because I paid for it. And if we look at it any different than that, then what the hell are you paying attention to? When I pay somebody money and they don't pay me my money back, I take something from them that's worth my money, if not more. That's the way it works. You don't get something for nothing. So we are going to take what's fucking ours, what we paid for. You don't just get our money and then walk away, motherfucker. So I think this is wild. And for you to think anything different, it's because you're listening to the big media and you're not thinking for yourself. But that's what's going on with Greenland. China wants that shit. Russia wants it. There's chatter about who's going to take it. So we offered money. We got turned down, but at least we're not talking about taking it. We were talking about buying it. And if we add in Canada as a 51st state, it's just about land mass at that point. We would be the biggest landmass. It all makes sense to me. Make America great again. Make it more powerful. How do we make it more powerful? We own more shit. That's it. That's all this is, everybody. And everything that you're gobbling up and listening to is just horse shit. It's just the Democrats freaking out again because they're losing control of their narrative and they see all their work unraveling as we all fucking wake up and see the actual goddamn truth. I thought this was really neat. This one right here. This could be a possible time traveler. Now, this is a photo from World War II, and this gentleman is on a cell phone. Now, could this be doctored? Could this be fake? I'll put it out there. Of course it can. AI can make anything. But the person that I got this from said it's an authentic picture. I don't know how he figured it out. I don't know if he even looked into it. But at the end of the day, do you think AI made this? Or do you think it's possible that we already invented time travel? I don't know. But this World War II military man here is definitely holding a cell phone. So think about that for a minute. And then check this out. Freakiest story from The Matrix I've ever heard. I thought this was really neat.
This is one of the freakiest stories out of The Matrix I've ever heard.
Menu Gate, have you heard of that? Menu Gate? This man,
Check this
his name
out,
is
y'all.
Cody, lives in Atlanta. He walked out of his apartment one day and noticed every single door in his hallway had a Chinese menu in the doorway.
That's not exactly the weird part. Check this out.
3 days later, still there in every doorway. All of them. And he's like, what in the world? It's like 3 days, everyone in my hall has not opened their door. And then it was like 5 days, still there.
Where is everyone? This is where things get really interesting.
Like 5 days, still there. He's like, this is weird. So he went down to the parking garage and looked at the cars. And the majority of the cars in the parking garage were covered in dust. And he's like, that's weird. And then he's like, okay, this is like freaking me out a little bit. Went through his whole apartment building, couldn't find a fire alarm. Finally, like went down like one weird hallway or whatever, found one, pulls it. And supposedly there's supposed to be 800 people living in this apartment building. No one came out.
This is either a Truman Show occurrence or we're actually in the freaking Matrix.
Supposedly, there's supposed to be 800 people living in this apartment building. No one came out. He went out into his local little nook where his apartment was, and every like coffee shop and place that he went to, there was always one man in there wearing a suit, talking on the phone. He said these men were all saying the same thing into the phone.
Let me know what y'all think was happening.
What?
As always, thanks for watching. Stay weird.
So that's crazy. And I don't know if this is like the guy that was in the future that was on TikTok for a little while. I don't even know if his account is active or live anymore. I was watching for quite some time, and then I found out it was for a movie deal, and you're just like, oh, okay. So none of this is real, and I'm following you for no reason. You're just building content so that you can have something to show somebody else and be like, look, we can make this into a movie. Is this one of those scenarios, or is this a glitch in the Matrix? I don't know, but I will tell you that today, anything is possible. I mean, Ukraine's got lasers and robots that fight wars, and we've got DJs that are now robots, and I mean, it's happening. It's all happening right now, everybody. But you want to know what else is happening? I think we're all finally waking up, and I am so glad that you have woken up. I am. I am so glad that everybody is starting to realize that they've been lied to for a long time. So I hope more of you wake up. I hope more of you keep looking into it. Keep doing your due diligence. Question everything. We will not be happy and have nothing. I will be happy to know everything. And you will not be happy because I do not believe you anymore. That's where I'm at. But I do have a little bit of faith in what's going on today. And I also do know that that is something that not a lot of people are looking at the way I'm looking at it. But I think that if you have a job that is federally funded and it is got any type of corruption attached to it, then I'm sorry that you may or may not lose your job. But I am not sorry that they are finding this corruption within the federal government and shutting it down. Because if it's linked to corruption and it's linked to our tax dollars not going to where we thought it was, then I want my money back. And that's the end of the story, everybody. So as much as it bothers me that people are going to be put out of work, it bothers me more that those people that have jobs are doing it under false pretenses. There's fraud attached to it. And not all of our money is going to where they said it was. So we need to stand up. We need to tear these systems down and clean them up and get our money back in our country where it belongs. All right, everybody. That's the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to all of my subscribers out there. If you're new, remember to subscribe. You want your opportunity, use the email. And don't forget about the Linktree link. I hope everybody out there has an amazing Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. And I will talk to you later.